Hi everyone, my name is Ray and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about how you should stop chasing after love and relationships. I'm going to teach you the techniques that I used to find the love of my life, my twin flame, my amazing and beautiful wife. I'm going to tell you exactly the mistakes that you are making by chasing, by over wanting something, and how you can avoid them. So, stay tuned. If you are chasing after someone, if you are chasing after love or relationships because you don't have them right now, I want you to stop, okay? Just stop. You're just making it worse. We all know the story. This happens 1,000 times around us. Maybe for you too. Boy and girl meet, they fall in love, eventually they break up. One of them wants the other one much more than the first one. Eventually the first one that really wants the other one gives up, and in that time that they give up, suddenly the other one sends them a text message or sends a friend to ask them how they're doing, or emails them, or any other way, or likes an Instagram photo of them. Now, what actually happens there is that when one person wants something too much, wants love or relationship or another person specifically or something general, when we want it too much, we're actually telling the universe that we don't have. In other words, we say, I want, it's important for me, and now because I'm over-emanating it, it's over-important for me, I feel the lack much more than I feel the have. And I'm not trusting enough. In other words, I'm saying, I don't have, and I'm creating this vibration of not having. And that is what the universe hears. So when we want something too much, one of the things that we should do is decrease its importance as much as we can. And when we're talking about relationships, it means that I am neglecting myself in some way. When I want somebody too much and I'm chasing after them and I'm texting them, or if I'm just feeling bad about not having them in my life or not having somebody in my life, all of these type of things, they're creating the opposite vibration of what we actually want. If you're literally chasing after someone, that actually means that they are running away from you. Now, you shouldn't chase anything in your life. You should be the vortex of a gravity, that your vibration and through the world, because the world right now it's a vibrational universe, it will be naturally attracted to you. Now, how do you get to be the type of person that things get naturally attracted to them? You become more and more of who you are. That means that you are emanating unconditional self-love. And we're not talking about the type of unconditional self-love, meaning that you're egoistic or megalomaniac in any way, or thinking only about yourself. You know, not the type of people that maybe you think that overconfidence is attractive. But this is a phase. This is a phase of young people when you see through the overconfidence and you see that it's actually quite the opposite. We're talking about loving yourself, taking care of yourself, preparing yourself for that relationship that you're expecting. Now imagine that you are the quarterback of your team, that you are the star of your own movie, because this is really how reality is. There's you and everything else is just a projection of yourself, and everybody else are like the co-stars in your own movie. Now, would the star of the movie have to chase after someone if he's the star? Would the quarterback have to chase after someone if he's really the quarterback and he gets the most amount of respect and women and money and all of that type of stuff? When you are making yourself the secondary, when you're making yourself not the primary, you're actually radiating that energy towards outside, which creates a resistance. Now, in our world, which every atom is connected to another atom through the quantum grid, people will feel that resistance and they will resist it. So when we want something too much, money, a person, a girl, a relationship, love, and we're chasing after it, we're actually emanating that vibration, but the other person feels it as a resistance. In other words, they feel that we want too much and we crave it too much, and therefore they feel like we're going to take away their energy. Now, how do they feel it? On an energetic level, on a quantum level, everything is really connected. It's like a network grid. Some of us are more intuitive than others. Then we feel that when somebody's checking us out, somebody's looking at us in the wrong way or not in a way that we would like to be looked at. So instead of looking for those things outside of yourself, you should start by assuming responsibility for your behavior and for your emotional state. And I want to share with you what I actually did in order to find my amazing wife, to attract her to me, the first stages, you know, and stuff like that. First, I was the type of person that was dating quite a lot of women. I was in between relationships all the time. For a very long time, I was polyamoric. So I was in several relationships in parallel. I didn't really know what I'm running away from, but it was my fear of commitment back in the day. After analyzing myself, I overcame it and understood why, for me in that time, monogamy was the right thing to do. So that was the first clarity that I got with myself, is that I really am interested in being in a long-term relationship with someone, and I'm no longer afraid of commitment, which is something that most people are afraid of, either because we are heartbroken from the past, or simply because it's hard for us to commit to something that is long-term, because we're afraid that we're going to change and want somebody else, and we want to taste from all the flavors of the world. So the first thing that I did is that I made a list of, it was between 15 to 20 points of the things that I'm actually looking for in my partner. Now, the first 5 or 6 things, usually everybody writes the same stuff. If it's a guy looking for a girl, then she has to look amazing. If it's a girl looking for a guy, he has to have good sense of humor. He has to be, I don't know, tall, sometimes muscular. All those bullshit things that, you know, society has programmed us to look for. A good sense of humor, whatever. But after that, it gets very, very specific to you. In other words, you know that you're the type of person that needs a lot of time by yourself, for example. Or you know you're not the type of person that likes to have long phone calls, for example. And you don't want to have the type of person that is asking you to call them once a day for an hour and a half, like some people do. So once you have that, you're going to get clarity. And when you get clarity, you know what it is that you want, but you also know that you don't need to compromise. In other words, from that list, you know, you can compromise on a thing or two, but generally, if you start dating someone and they're obviously not the things on your list, do not become desperate and continue dating them. You are amazing. You are worth it. It doesn't matter what happened to you in your life until now. When you know that you're amazing and you work on yourself, on your unconditional self-love, you will be emanating and you will become like a magnet. Now, it doesn't matter how the externals, I'm talking about on the energetic quantum field level, you'll become like a magnet. For example, when I have so much confidence and I know what I'm talking about, and I have a lot of success with different relationships in my life, business or romantic, and when you know who you are and you love the person that you are, even though you are imperfect in many ways, and even though I'm not perfect and I'm working on my ego and I'm working on serving other people much more, I know that I have unconditional self-love. And because I have that, I attract the right type of people, the right type of students, the right type of participants to my workshops, the right type of relationships to my life. Now, you should ask yourself, how can I work on that? Not by searching for things that are outside of yourself. In other words, do not focus on externals. So it's not just about the way that you look, it is about the way that you feel towards yourself, that eventually other people are going to feel towards you. You understand? So the first thing is really make that list. Second thing, don't get stuck on your negative emotions. Now, of course, it's okay to occasionally feel sad or lonely, but you know that down the line, you're going to find that special someone. Nobody is left behind. Nobody is left alone, unless they have really deep issues. And if you have deep issues, this is not the time to go chasing a relationship. It's time to self-heal. Now, when I say don't go down and deep or depressed, that's because it's not worth it right now. What you want to do is you want to work on being the best partner, the best person that you could ever be. So you are actually working on preparing yourself to be a better person in order for you to find the relationship or the ideal relationship for you. So you can be the best guy, the best girl that they're actually looking for. So I know sometimes negative emotions come, especially after a breakup, when we think, you know, there are plenty of fish in the sea, but we wanted that specific fish, that specific dolphin, that specific, sometimes even whale, you know. So don't worry about it. The ideal relationship is just waiting for you. It's just around the corner, but don't expect it. If you're making it too important, it's never going to come. You're going to chase it, and just like a dog chasing a car, once you catch the car, you won't even know what to do with the car. You understand? And don't forget, do not compromise. Compromising, you know a lot of relationships that people have compromised in your life, and you see them around you, you know, usually older people, and you see that they should have gotten a divorce like 10 years ago, and they really haven't, and they're not happy. You don't want to compromise when you're young. You want to find the right person and build the ideal life with them. And for that, you're going to have to break up from a lot of people. You're going to have to date once or twice and see that it doesn't work. So don't try hard to make, you know, it's like two puzzle pieces. They just don't fit together. And you see it intuitively. Now, I'm not saying find only Mr. Perfect, or because we are imperfect ourselves. But I'm saying if it doesn't really work, don't over try to make it work. Don't suffer in the way. Don't challenge yourself that much. It is supposed to flow. Just like a block of wood in a river, it flows with the water. So if you find that there's too many arguments, if you find that there's too many discussions that are becoming a little bit more than a discussion, and sometimes, you know, you raise your voice and become defensive, and there's two egos that are arguing with one another, let it go. Let it go. Life is not supposed to be that difficult, you know. Life is supposed to be fun. And don't forget about that. When you seek your own fun, your own adventures, when you have this sensation of constant excitement, you again will be emanating that sensation and becoming a gravity and a pull for that special someone that will eventually come and find you. You have to have the clarity for it. So these are some of the things I did. Once I started dating my special one, I started noticing that everything is really running smoothly. I started seeing the beauty in her like I saw the beauty in myself. In other words, the person that you should be dating, that you're not chasing obviously, they will be mirroring and reflecting the positive things that you see within yourself. In other words, they're going to support you, and they're not going to make you feel bad about yourself in any way. And the last tip I want to give you is that before we were incarnated here, because now we are either man or woman, and by definition we have more of the masculine energy or the feminine energy, we had that twin flame that is the opposite of us. And I'm going to make a whole video about the different types of twin flames just after this one. So that means that when we imagine the completeness of the other sex within ourselves, we're actually calling out to the other part, saying that we are ready. We are ready to connect. We are ready to find the wholeness that is the feminine and the masculine energy put together. So what I want you to do as an exercise of visualization is I want you to feel like you are one part of the yin and yang symbol. You're either the blue or the red, you're either the black or the white. And you are actually calling by vibrating yourself, because there's a small part of you that is a part of the other side. I want you to visualize the completeness that you have as a shape, that right now you are just half of that completeness. And it's calling you, you're calling out to that vibration, and it is calling you. In other words, you are slowly being magnetized into one another, magnetized or pulled one towards the others. And when you do that enough time, you're going to feel the completeness within yourself. When you feel the completeness within yourself, that means that you are actually ready to find that special someone. Do this as an exercise every day. Imagine that pull, imagine that completeness within you of the energetic masculine and the energetic feminine coming together. And you will see that within a few weeks, you will have a change. You'll have a change because you will start seeing the perfectness in yourself, and therefore your future partner or your twin flame, or however you want to call it, will be pulled more towards you. Now don't forget, many people in our life that we have to go into a relationship with because we chose a certain challenge and a certain lesson in order for us to become a better person and then move on to our twin flame or the right person for us. Some of these people, it might take years. The faster we learn the lessons, the faster we will get to that real true completeness in a relationship that is fitting to us. So my friends, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Do the work, you know, as one might say, as much as you can. I love you all. My name is Ray. My website is raymoor.com. If you enjoyed this video, like it, share it with your friends. Namaste, and I will see you in my next video.